Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dynamics Podcast. My name, of course, is Fredrik Sætre, and it's time for the tip-off. Joining us today is the lovely and the only one that you ever need when you have a technical issue. It's my good friend, Tommy Skaue. Hello, Tommy.
When he says it's time, it really is time. It's actually overdue, but okay, let's go ahead and do this stuff. It's a great show we got going on with the tip-off today, so...
Yeah, and, well, it's not going to just be you and me. It's going to be you and me and Jason Gumpert. Thank you so much for joining us today, Jason.
Hey, it's my pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh, no, it's great to have you on. So we had a run through one time before, but maybe you can just tell us a little bit about MS Dynamics World.
Oh, yeah. This time it'll be perfect. So, yeah, I'm the editor at MS Dynamics World. We've been around for about 10 years now. We cover the Dynamics product line from the perspective of partners, from the perspective of customers. We're not super technical, but we're really interested in business concerns, business trends. And you know, the content on the site is half editorial and it's half branded, so you'll find news and coverage of the product line. You'll also find things going on in the partner channel, but you'll also find vendor content, so thought leadership things like white papers and case studies, as well as add-on solution information and a lot of events that we run ourselves, as well as a podcast. So we're touching a lot of different things, and yeah, like I said, it's great to be here with you.
Yeah, thank you so much for bringing it back. I've been a listener to your podcast for a long time, and I really missed the weekly summaries. So you got to go listen to that.
Yeah, good to know.
Report. Yeah, so you know what to read, right? And today we have two challengers, or one challenger and one. We can kind of call him an unofficial expert or the unofficial champion of dynamics tipping. So I just want to introduce them one by one. The first one weighing in at 9 years experience from McKinney, Texas. He of the US of Trump, right? He's the host and creator of Amex Dynamics Chatter podcast. He is also the director of solutions and delivery at EmpowerAX. He's the prophet of the Church of One Version of the Truth reporting. It's Chad C Squared Carnes. Hello, Chad.
Hey, thank you so much.
Yeah,
just got my. You forgot to mention I'm the #1 groupie. Okay.
Yeah.
For the Dynamics podcast, so I appreciate you guys like letting us join, letting us be a part of that family. It's just been a blast to get to do this and just collaborate and meet new people. This is awesome. It's thanks to Murray. I got to give a shout out to Sarah Morgan for introducing us and saying, I asked her, hey, is this a crazy idea? And she said, no. She laughed for about 30 seconds. And then she said, no, this is a great idea. Let's do this. So, but big thanks to Murray for doing this. Cause this has just been, I've had probably more fun in the lead up to this than we might actually have today. But that's going to be close. So,
yeah. And in the other corner, the blue corner is weighing in at 8.5 years experience, originally from the corner of Mormon and Purnell at Ruini, New Zealand. Closer?
Yeah.
Ravuni.
Remind me never to give you geolocation coordinates.
Yeah, well, yeah. So he's currently at an undisclosed location in the US. Yeah, and he's the best-selling author. He's a blogger. He's awarded the MVP award from Microsoft for many times. He's currently working for Microsoft as a technical solution professional. He's an avid tennis player, and he's a tinkerer of tech. And he also makes dogs and ponies dance. And it's Murray, the Tinkerbell Fife. Hello, Murray.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited. We've had such a long build-up for this tip-off. I think it's been in the planning for, I don't know, 6 months or longer since Chad sort of reached out.
It's taken me that long to come up with 10 good tips or tricks to use. So, and just an announcement for anybody out there. Murray's today his book is 50% off. AX tips and tricks. He's putting it out there, but tomorrow it'll be 75% off. So get that. I highly recommend it. I usually give it to almost every one of my clients. So.
And the trash talk keeps on coming.
At least for the next hour and a half. It's gonna be awesome.
It's been a bit of back and forth between you guys. So it's kind of like the you're catty guys, and it shows that guys can be catty both on Twitter and on different types of social media, on LinkedIn, and also on the emails going back and forth. It's been pretty hard for both of you.
It's been fun. See, you think I think it's been fun. I think it's been fun. That's probably what makes Murray and I different. Is we've enjoyed this whole process.
I think he likes it too. So, guys, we're going to do a tip-off. And Chad, you kind of laid down the rules when you did the challenge. So it's going to be 10 tips, not 5, 10 tips. Murray asked us just before we started, how many tips are there?
That was concerning. That concerned me.
Is it like 5? But, you know, when you have a backlog of hundreds of tips, you can just pick and choose. So we're going to go back and forth. I think we're going to start with Chad. He's going to do his tip, and then we're going to do Murray's tip, and then the judges are going to deliberate on what we think is the best tip and why, or don't explain, just say why, who wins. It's going to be 2 points for each round. There's going to be 1 point for delivery, and 1 point or performance, and 1 point for the technical or the solution aspect of it. So
Okay.
Are you ready, guys?
Yeah, I mean, and just to point out, like the reason that I did this and the reason I've been excited, I've been waiting 5 years to do this, because back in 2013, in a very highly hot contested CRP with about 50 or 60 people, I got fifed. So most functional consultants, all of you out there at one point or another, have gotten fifed. For me, it was a woman who came at me asking me about item groups, and she said they only needed 3, and I said they needed at least 8 if they wanted things to post and group correctly. She then proceeded to tell me that she was going to meet Murray Fife in Fargo the next week, and that she was going to tell him what I said. And my response back to her was Carnes. And she said, what do you need that for? When you see him, I want you to let him know. I want you to spell my name correctly. That way, you know who I am. But actually from that point on, I read the book, and she, Murray actually said you can have more item groups. And then from there, I started doing everything with Murray Fife books. I've got a whole backlog here, but everybody at one point or another has gotten fifed, and I'm trying to do it for all the little people out there that have gotten killed at some point by page 67 of that book. So.
All right.
Anyway,
should we bring on the tipping? Are you ready, guys?
Game on.
Game on.
Let's do it.
Show us what you got.
Let's do it.
So it's round 1, and Chad, you're gonna start us off, right?
Yeah, the challenger, right?
Yes.
All right.
Let's just make sure we see the screen before we start the clock.
There we go.
Yep. So, I'm the man of the people, and that's how I describe myself. There's 5 of us on this call, and I think 4 of us are MVPs. So I'll let you guess which one's not. I work the lost baggage desk of the airport every day, and basically the big thing I want to talk about going into this is I'm not going to be as wide. I don't think so, but my game plan here is to tell you a story. This is pizza, people. Okay. Like, people think of an ERP as sauce and cheese and pepperoni. Today, I want to let you in on how I see it, and how I solution, and how I do what I do on a daily basis, which is just solving problems. And really, I want you to see it as a pizza instead of as pieces. So today, I'm going to tell a story, okay? And that's what I do. I think an ERP is a story. And the first thing we're going to start off with here today, okay, is the first thing I ever got when 365 came out. I was very intimidated. It was about 3 years ago. I was on a TAPS project, and I downloaded this great little article, okay, by a guy named Fredrik, okay, and from his wonderful blog, which is right here, okay, and it's this Excel, it's this wonderful Excel sheet, and basically it got me into the idea that, hey, there's more to this, okay, and what he did was he created an Excel link here, okay, and my idea with this at the time was we could use this to create a month-end go-live checklist, right? And we can memorialize that, okay? Now, he did something with HR that was just not nearly as good as what I did, but basically it's the same premise. But it really got me thinking, hey, what is possible now? Like, what can we do differently, okay? And that really got me thinking. Now, every tip and trick I have today, okay? So the first point I want to make is we got to think different about what we do and how we do it, okay? And in this, it's taking me into the inventory transaction grid, okay? But we got to start thinking differently. It's a brave new world, and it really forced me to change how I approached things, okay? So
you are done, man. You're 2 minutes in.
I thought we got 2.5. I thought we had 2.5, right?
3 minutes.
Yeah, I thought it was 3 minutes.
Oh, you got 3 minutes. Okay.
Man, 30 seconds to set it up.
Continue.
Yeah.
Continue.
Oh, okay. All right. So, hey, Tommy, 1 point for me, please. Could you add that to my list there? Thanks, man. No, but basically, I was, man, you killed me right in my conclusion. But again, it forced me to start thinking differently. And as we go, as you see kind of the progression, I'm going to try to highlight some really important things that you can do to start thinking differently about this environment. And all of my tips, all the documents, all the videos, everything, I'll have a Dropbox link that everybody can grab from. So you can have them. So all of you out there watching this Excel sheet, you can have it tomorrow if you want it. It's yours. Next.
Wow. Okay.
Murray.
Sorry for the break. You got 2 minutes and 45 seconds. That was a good one. That was a good run.
Oh.
Yeah, I updated my background since I got a signed Tinkerbell. Okay, so let's go into here. So Chad started off, and he started off showing Excel. So I thought I'll sort of show something around Office integration, which is pretty darn cool as well. And this is something which I've used in the past, but I only just sort of extended it out a little bit. And within Dynamics, there's a let's go down to here. Everyone's sort of seen sales and marketing, where there's the link that you can go out and have. If you're inside of a form, then you've got this link up here to open up documents in Office. Normally, there's only you see Excel spreadsheets here. But I don't know whether a lot of people have tried to go out and or know that you can also go out and create Word templates. And to do that, if we just go down to, I've got some Office templates here, then with Dynamics 365, then you can create these Word documents, but you can go and add in fields from any of the tables that you've got. And this is going out and grabbing information from the quotations table. And I've just gone out and formatted this however I want. So we've got fields here that are showing up, and also we've got a table, and then we've got some terms and conditions that are showing up here. So the important thing about this is that, like Chad said, you can think differently, and also you can be a little bit more creative with what you do, because you're not stuck in using, for example, reporting services and things like that. Now, once you create these, then there's a function inside of 365, which is the, what's that? Let me pull that up, which is the Office integration, and there's all these document templates. Now, if you go out and create this template in Word, then I can go out and create a new record here and upload that template. And what that does is it goes out and it does what I had before with my quotation, where I'm looking at my quotation and it adds in automatically this link to the Word document. So rather than going out and having to create a report and doing things like that, I can just go out and create a Word document, do this mail merge, and then pull in all the information. It's going to open up the document for me, and it's going to fill in all of the information. It has in this case, I've got the customer information, the address, the date of the quotation, and also all the lines showing up here, and then all my terms and conditions. So I can, in essence, go out and create my own mail merge files or my own custom reports without being a report designer. So
you're done.
Time.
Wait, is that 2 minutes or 3 minutes? I'm confused. Is that
was 3 minutes without the interruption of me.
Yeah.
So
that's So thank you very much, judges. First tip is on the table, and that's a cheap point on bringing in my own tips, Chad.
Shameless bantering to the
checkmate.
I'm gonna deduct half a point for cheap, just stealing stuff from one of the judges.
You better multiply that by 10 then. So,
but I do like the URL, even though it's been replaced by another function now.
Task
guys, right? So let's start off with just doing the functional part of it. You guys wanna start it? Let's do 1 point. Or what's your vote for the functional side of it? I'm gonna go with Chad on this one. I'm sorry, it's a cheap trick, but yeah.
So I got half a point taken off for pandering, but I got a full point from you.
Yes.
Okay, so net half point from Fredrik there.
Yeah, I would also give
half point
to Chad.
Yeah.
I like Murray's. I do question if people want to build those, or people are able to build those templates as nicely as Murray does.
Oh yes.
It's all real. It's all real.
Tommy, you wanna put in your final?
Yeah, Jason, you can have my template right now. It's in my Dropbox and will work perfectly.
So are we? Well, Tommy, what's your deliberation on the functionality of the tip?
I gotta ask, do you want me to do the technical point delivery for this?
Yes.
Yes.
Not the long-winded one, but the short one.
The short one. I'm gonna give Chad half a point. It was a good tip, and also because I sort of did something with his tip, and I like Murray's tip a lot because I see people trying to develop SSRS reports for trying to cover exactly what he did with his tip.
I love you, Tommy.
So from a technical perspective, I like that a lot. So I'm giving him a point for that.
Okay, so it's both of Jason and I voted for Chad, and so
okay, I can only give one person a point.
We're gonna give one person 1 point for the technical part of the. You didn't read the memo, Tommy, on the rules. So it's gonna be. We're three judges, so that'll be it will sway either way. You have to pick one. So the first one we did was for the functionality, and Chad did win that one. And there's another point coming up for presentation. And you want to go first, Tommy?
Yeah, I'm giving Murray my technical point for this one.
I love you, Tommy.
And Jason, you wanna weigh in on delivery?
Presentation's a tough one. I like Chad's delivery, but I think Murray's definitely gonna get my point on presentation.
Yeah, mine as well. Since he was bold enough to do that very, very on the spot sure. Live performance as a demoer, I do like that one. It looked like a very spontaneous thing. Very nice. So after round number 1, the score is 1-1.
Yeah.
Still anybody's game. So let's get ready for round number 2. And we'll just switch sides, and this time it is Murray who's going to go first. You ready, Murray?
I'm ready.
Yes.
So this tip is to do with Power BI. So, and what I'm going to show here is that there's with Dynamics it's 365. What you do is you get you have around about 18 of these content packs that get delivered out of the box, and they're embedded into the application. But there's something that you can do with Power BI which is pretty neat, because I can go out and connect to the service. Because one of the problems with BI reporting is that you have to go out and sort of try to find all the information. But we've got all of these here already. So I can go up to Power BI with all of these things that are already pre-configured, like purchasing or production or project management, and then load that in. It's going to give me all the information from powerbi.com, and I can go out and then say that I want to see the profit by city. And this is going to go out and create a report, and then I can create, for example, a map. Now, is that popping through? Oh, there, it's popping through. So we can go and create these reports. So all of this information that's already available to us, then we can go out and sort of tweak. Now, there's one other tip that sort of comes along with this, and that Power BI has all of these standard sort of visuals but there are things called custom visualizations that developers have gone out and created. In the past, these were a little bit of a pain to go out and grab, but what we can do is now you can say that I want to import in these visuals from the store, and it will go up to powerbi.com and show us all of these different visuals. And we can go out and add in other visuals just by going out and selecting them. So that's gone out. This has gone out and created a narrative here. And I could go out and look at by city and look at the order quantity, and it's going to show us sort of like a description of what it's discovering. So I think it's using some sort of maybe a little bit of machine learning, maybe a bit of information there. So you're not stuck with the standard vanilla visuals. And if you take this out just a little bit further, then the types of reports that you can go out and create are a lot more richer than the ones that you'd normally created, because this is one that I created just this morning. And it's showing me all of my sales and my profit. I've got some gauges here. All of this is out of the box and publicly available, but I'm seeing all of my sales, the profit that I'm making, discounts that are being given. I can look at this by state, and notice also all of the narratives are changing as it shows me sort of different things that I'm looking at.
Ding dong.
So,
done.
Yep, Power BI, it's great and it's easy to add.
Very nice. Oh yeah, they do have to get like a couple of seconds to kind of wrap up.
Okay.
Time is up.
Yeah, okay. Hey,
yeah.
3 minutes and 5 seconds. I'm going to give chat at least that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. You're gonna give him a warning at 3 minutes, like time, and then it go just wrap up.
Yep. But that's Power BI. I love Power BI.
Yeah, you don't.
No, you don't.
You don't have like a mute button you can just hit. Like that would be cool. So, yeah. Sorry to. I kind of fell asleep there for a second. I just sometimes like you just need the right song, right? You just need the right song, and this song right here is by one of our judges himself here. Okay, Tommy, how does it feel, man, that Fredrik's most watched blog post like doesn't have you in it, man? Like that's tough, brother. But yeah, we got MC Fife, but we also, it seems like we have another MC in the house. So,
Chad, I think you've got something on your nose.
Oh yeah, okay, that's good. Good, yeah. But just like the right song, I think the most important thing that I want to talk about is the right data. So what I did here was I grabbed a little screenshot that Mr. Fife did over here in his last Power BI move. Okay, and he talked about the narrative. The narrative is great, except what is this 0.18? What is this 0.03? Okay. And what I want to try to change the narrative on is my favorite 6 words is I need a report for that. Okay. The 1990s called, they want their phrase back. Okay. So what you need to be asking yourself and what you're going to be asking yourself is I need a workspace and I need a tile. Okay. So I want to convince you that workspaces are better than Disneyland. Okay. And I want to convince you that tiles are the way to go. Okay. So I jumped in here into my, let me make this big here. I jumped into my my open vendor invoices. Okay, so open vendor invoices is just like the bills sitting on my desk over here that I haven't paid. Okay, I've entered them in, but they're still open to be paid. I got 30 more days. Okay, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come in here and I am going to add a filter to this. Okay, I didn't show personalizing. I'm not going to show personalizing here, but you can personalize the grid, add fields. But I am going to add a filter here for vendor V000. Okay, I set up all 3 judges, okay, as vendors. This is going to be a recurring theme as we go. Okay, I set up all 3 vendors as judges. Okay, and that's going to filter down this grid by just those vendors. So I want to see just what I owe these 3 guys. Okay, because they may send somebody after you to break your arm if you don't pay them on time. Okay, they're the most important vendors I have in the system. So okay, so now once I've got that, okay, that looks great, right? What do I do with it? All right. Well, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to add it to what I call Disneyland, aka workspaces, aka the role center we always wanted in the last version. And I'm going to add it to the vendor payments workspace. Okay. I call this, think about it. Like I could have the same grid. I could go to this. I could add 6 or 7 with different filters in it. I can create my own little world in a workspace. And it's just such a game changer as far as how we implement. Okay. I went to a client the other day. They had been implementing for 6 months. They'd never used a workspace and I wanted to punch somebody. Okay. So if you see now, I've got it right there, the tip off vendor title, boom, there it is, okay? Again, sometimes you need it, sometimes even if your consultant is a better DJ than he is a consultant, tell him about workspaces. You need to use them, okay? And stop asking for a report and start asking for a tile in a workspace, okay? Tommy, can I save my time and use it later, or I mean, no. What should I? Oh, okay.
No rollover.
No rollovers.
Okay.
Well, we're on time now.
Oh, all right. So, well, I just remember when the point time. Okay, I got us back on schedule. So.
Yeah, you're good now. Your 3 minutes are done. But...
All right. So let's go back and take a chat about that. So judges, our scoreboard. Whose tip do you like best? Tommy, you go first.
Well, this time I love Power BI, I do, but this time around I'm gonna give Chad my point because that was a really good tip, and it goes back to the SSRS theme again. People are pushing SSRS reports, but he's right. You can just sometimes all you need is use the standard system without creating a report.
Yeah, it's kind of I like the backhand slap to Murray, just using his momentum against him, and I also always talk about that important thing, but it didn't need to be hung out as my old videos on YouTube. Don't go digging around. Don't go digging around, yeah. Chad. So Jason, I'm also gonna give Chad my point. Yep, Jason.
So are we? I'm sorry. Just in terms of the points, are we voting on one particular category here, or just the overall point?
Overall point for the delivery. No, this is the functional part of it.
Oh, for functional. I love Murray's. You know, I'm also a fan of Power BI capabilities. But when you put a Power BI tip and an AX tip next to each other, you know, in the AX interface, I have to give it to AX based tip. I'm sorry, Murray. But so for that functional side, that's the point. It goes to Chad.
Yeah, and on delivery, I'm gonna deduct you points for putting me on the spot right there. So I'm gonna go with Murray on the delivery of this.
Fair enough. I banked on that. So
delivery.
Same for me, Fredrik. I give that point to Murray.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Chad. Murray gets my point in delivery.
Oh yeah. So it's 2 for 2. it's the same points all over, but so it's still an open game. It's a thriller, guys. But thank you, good tips. But I feel that I don't think you're bringing your A game on the early ones. I think you've saved some for later. I'm really enjoying this. So we're going back. We're going to go for round 3 now, and next up it is Chad Carnes coming at you.
All right. So since I'm the man of the people, and I'm the grunt guy working at the lost baggage desk at the airport, Mr. Fife's probably going to talk about Flow, his favorite application. He'll probably throw some power ups at you. I am going to talk about the most boring thing in all of Dynamics, but I think it's the most helpful thing that just drives me insane. So most of these tips are my pet peeves and things I just absolutely hate, okay? And we're going to talk about the most exciting thing, which is number sequences, okay? We're going to talk about number sequences. We're going to talk about the most important field in all of AX, the voucher, which connects the real world to the accounting world. And we're going to talk about the most important grid, okay, in all of Dynamics, the most important reporting source, okay? So what I'm going to do here is, if you notice, the voucher number sequences come from both journals and in the setup, okay? Vouchers are what we see in the accounting world that show us where the transaction came from. So if you'll notice in the example that AX has here, they use the same voucher for all of their inventory journals. Bad. Please don't do that, okay? Every voucher in my implementation should have its own unique sequence, okay? The reason is I don't want IJV to show up on every transaction that ever happens, okay? I want to know if it's a count. I want to know if it's a scrap. I want to know if you threw it off the truck. Vouchers can do that for us, okay? Also, when Murray gets to Power BI, if I have the voucher, I have more detail into what's happening, okay? It's an easy setup that everybody misses, and it drives me absolutely insane, okay? The next part I'm going to show you is another place where you set up vouchers, okay? There's 2 places, in all your journals and also in the setups, okay? So in here in accounts payable, I'm going to go to the invoice voucher, which is the voucher that posts when an invoice occurs. And you'll see here that I have a number sequence there. So I like this one because it says PIV. I like PIV because that tells me it's a purchase order invoice, okay? My non-purchase order invoices, okay, will be AP. So that way I can tell the difference very easily with the voucher, okay? I know this is a boring topic, and Mr. Fife would not bring himself down to this level. He would just run the number sequence wizard and probably just keep going. But hey, it's important, and it's something that everybody misses, okay? We need more than 1,400 receipt vouchers or we're going to bomb, okay? So here, right here, this is the thing I want to highlight. Voucher transactions. This is going to be the basis for for most of what we talk about from here on out. But I want you to understand how important this is. If you have this, all your finance people out there, even non-finance people, this is the most important grid, okay? Most overlooked field, okay, in this grid. Okay, so I'm going number sequences, I'm going to vouchers, okay, most posting type. Everybody take a breath, take a pause, write this down, voucher transactions grid, posting type, okay? I'm just gonna pause there, go slow. Everybody think about it, okay? The reason this is so important is this tells us where the transaction came from. So when I look at this grid, this is a view of the world, okay? This is the view of what I see. All right, and if you see here, there's all these IJV transactions. What the heck are they? I don't know. If they said ICNT, I know that we counted something out. And again, posting type tells us where it comes from. Again, more substance, less flash, no fluff, just stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, and we're bringing it over to Murray. What's your tip?
So many tips. Let me think. So...
Start the clock. Start the clock.
Yeah, start the clock. Now I'm going to show. I'll go back to basics, and show a couple of things around personalization, because Chad's a man of the man of the people. He's sorting his baggage, but he needs more information to show up in the view. So, and a lot of people know that you can go out and you can personalize these views, and go out and say, I'm inside of the customers and I may want to add in additional fields here. And the way I always talk about this is that it's just like when you're in Outlook, not everyone has the same view that they're looking at their contacts. They have different fields that are interesting to them, and then they sort them and they work through them different ways. So for example, I can go into here and I could add in maybe the country and the company chain here, and maybe the credit limit and credit rating, because those are things that I'm interested in looking at. So now, when I close this and refresh this, then all of my data that I've got is going to have all of the new fields showing up here. And I don't have a lot of information, but I do have the credit limits and the ratings that are showing up here. Now, this allows you to go out and then sort and filter, and you can hide fields as well, and do a whole slew of different things. But sometimes I show this, and then sort of the system admins are sort of cringe in horror. And they say, we don't want people to change it because it's too hard to support, because we can't work out that people have added in fields. And I say, bah humbug to them. But anyway, if you do have someone like that, then you can actually go into the system administration and go over here to the personalization. And if you really want to be a Grinch, then you can just turn off all the personalization, and then no user is able to change any form inside of that view. Or what you can do is you can go and select any of the users, like Alicia here, and then you can go into all of the different forms that we've got here and turn off personalization selectively for that user. And other things that you can do here is you can export out this personalization and import it back into other users, and do a whole slew of different things. So the personalization within Dynamics is something that is really important, because it gives you a lot of, again, it allows you to turn the list pages into reports, and think differently and get away from these sort of SSRS reports and the old way of doing things. But also what you can do for your problem users, you can lock it down and then not allow them to make those changes if you're in a very controlled sort of environment. So this is personalization or unpersonalization if you turn it off.
Yeah, speaking as an problem user. Could we take points away from him for showing the sysadmin how to turn it off? That would be great. So
I'm just the messenger. I didn't build it. I didn't add it, but I'm showing it.
Well, yeah. So let's deliberate. Do you want to go first, Jason?
Yeah, can I ask a question on Chad's? Just because maybe just a little bit of lack of familiarity is that kind of smart numbering sort of looked at as a good practice in the ERP world, as opposed to, say, adding an attribute or something like that? It's just maybe my bit of lack of knowledge of how things are done in AX in the real world.
yeah, I would definitely want to make it company specific, and I would probably put it. But again, you just have to understand how many digits that you're putting in there. What I would tell you is we run a standard number sequence, and a lot of people will just use that. And if you do that for a good long while, and even now, you can only post about 14,000 receipts before it will crash on you. So but it's something I like to do. But you do have to be knowledgeable about how many just how long your string is. That's the key thing. At least for me.
Cool, thanks. All right, so Fredrik, remind me of what the categories are.
We are now deliberating the functional side of things on these two tips.
Oh boy, I mean they both had good functionality, I would say.
I love you, Jason.
Functionality. I think Murray's just dived deeper, so I think functionally he gets the edge on that one.
Yeah. So 1 point. Your vote is for Murray.
Point.
Okay, point for Murray. Yeah. Well, I did like. It's unfair because I love the personalization stuff. But I did like the importance of what Chad talks about, and it's a common mistake, I think, or a missed opportunity of using the number sequences. So from the functional side of things, I'm not a financial guy, but I know that this is important. So my point goes to Chad. Tommy?
Yeah, this is almost like the previous tip. It's comparing oranges with apples. As far as I know, the personalization you do on the forms in AX7 is less intrusive as they were with AX 2012. So it's neat that you can use them. I like Murray's tip a lot, but I have to give points to Chad. Sorry, Murray, because his tip is very important, and I agree. If you're not sanitize your formatting of the number sequences, you'll run into huge issues with just getting confused with they look all the same. So that's a very strong tip on the functional side. Yeah.
Yes.
Can you guys hold it there for just a second so I take a screenshot of the scoreboard just right now, just so I can realize this moment?
Yeah, on delivery as well. I'm gonna go with Chad on this one. Good execution.
And thank you, and thank you, Kelly, for supporting me as well in the chat box there. Very appreciate it.
Oh yeah, let's check out the chat. So yeah, Kelly.
Pandering to everybody now. So.
Yeah.
All right.
So my on the delivery, I go with Chad. I really like this part, and it's an important one.
I'll give my vote to Chad on the delivery too. I think he came out aggressive and smart as the lead off tip on this round. So I give him that too.
Tommy?
Yeah, I'm going to give my point to Murray on delivery, but I see a pattern here. Chad is really getting on top of things with each single tip here. So Murray, you have to keep up the pace, bro.
Yeah. He looks well prepared. Look at him. He's got his sweatband on.
Okay, I'm good. Is it bleeding yet? Is the permanent marker bleeding yet?
Okay. No sweat yet.
Awesome.
No.
Okay.
So we're going for round 4, and well, Murray, you're up.
Hey, change the screen. Yeah. Okay, so let's. This is a sort of like a different tip because there's a feature within Dynamics which allows you to go out and create mobile applications. It's not Power Apps and it's not Xamarin. It's just pure Dynamics 365. And I don't know whether a lot of people use this, but they should, because it has a whole slew of different capabilities. And the way you get to it is just by going up to the administration, the system settings, and then choosing the mobile app. And what this does is this goes out and pulls in the standard mobile apps that are here that you can take advantage of. And if I go over to my handheld that I've got here, then there's an app that you download, the Dynamics 365 for Operations handheld or something like that. And what you can do is I can go out and see all of those workspaces that we created. So these are workspaces that are sort of mobile workspaces. And I can go out and I can search for a certain product. And this, I've got my Han Solo carbonite chamber. And this is pulling in information directly from Dynamics. But this is really special because this is both an online and an offline version of the application. So if you need to go out and give people access to orders or anything like that, then you can create views here. Now, if I've got enough time, what I'll do is I'll show you one thing that I can go out.
Tick.
How much time do I have, Tommy?
You're halfway in.
Okay. So to create these, it's really simple. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to the form that I want to mobilize. And then I'm going to tell the system that I want to, when it pops up, I want to turn this into a mobile app. So I'm going to create one. And this is production. And I'm going to add a page here and call this production orders. And then once I've done that, then I'm going to add fields. And what this does is this now allows me to select the fields that I want to put on my app. So I'm going out and I'm just choosing some of the fields, and I'm just going to save this, go back, and say it's done, and then save it. And now I've got a workspace just for production. So if I go down here, I've got it here, and I just publish it. So now when I go back to my app here, then I've got all these workspaces, which are standard ones. But when I do the refresh, then that workspace will show up and I'll be able to go out and query that same information. So that should pop up. But these being online and offline are really important and really simple to create because it's just part of the UI. So I'll stop there, but keep in mind that these mobile workspaces are available.
Chad, you're up.
Well, so the fact that someone would want a carbonite chamber just already shows that I'm part of the rebellion. I'm with the Jedi. Other people are part of the evil empire. I think like anybody that would want that, carbonite chamber hanging in their house. But let's go ahead and get serious for a second. I believe that that there is a silver bullet when it comes to 365 and operations. And I'm doubling down. Like I was going to go with a whole bunch of different things, but I am going to show you through the rest of this how important I think the silver bullet is. And I actually have a whole company dedicated to it, not trying to promote anything, but I believe that it is the end all be all. I think it is the reason that we spend 18 to 24 months on a project. I think we're in a new world of where you can no longer be a Dynamics consultant and a BI consultant. Like you need to be both. Okay. And in Power BI Desktop, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you how to get data. Okay. So Power BI Desktop's a free app. You can download it. Okay. I'm grabbing the link here. Okay. I am going to then go down to my OData feed here, which Murray Fife showed us a little bit of this, but Jason made a really good point. Okay. A second ago, which is the connection to AX. Okay. If I click data here, all right, what I'm going to show you is it'll pop up some data entities. Okay. What I'm just for the purposes of this, these are our custom aggregate data entities. I've built a whole solution that supports functional. I'm a functional consultant, but I became technical later. I'm going to use on my own, but there are, like Murray said, there are There are ones out there. Just have to be careful. My rule is if I can't tie it back to a tile in a workspace, you don't get to use it. Okay. This that I'm showing you right here goes right back to the tip I just showed you with the voucher transactions, the basis for it. Okay. I am just bringing that into Power BI. So to Jason's point, yes, I am outside the application, Jason, but I'm not, okay, because I know what I'm tying back to. It's not just dashboards and tiles, okay? So I fast forwarded here to just a pre-built content pack that I built. This should look exactly like what you just saw, okay, with some exceptions. I extended these, okay? You can now see vendor and customer on them, okay? It drives me insane that I have to explain to a client that they can't get a P&L by customer. They can't see G&A expenses by vendor, okay? I've ended that. We've brought it down. I'm tired that I don't want to go into every single transaction and look at the original document, all right? So we can extend that through Power BI, but I can also go cross-company as well, okay? What I also did here is I brought in the vendor master, okay? And I linked up the vendor master, which you'll see here in a second, to the transaction. So since now I have a vendor on a transaction, which I don't have in 365 in that inquiry, I now then can filter this down by, if you remember the tip I just did, the tip off vendor groups, right? Those three guys are all in the same vendor group, all right? I can see exactly how much you spent now, okay? I can see how much is AP, and I can see the other side, the expense, okay? You guys spend a lot in travel expenses, right? So again, think differently. Okay, and this is the silver bullet, and we'll come back to it. We'll come back to it just in here in a second.
All right.
I got a little too worked up there, and I lost my time there. You guys got me on my soapbox. You got me distracted there.
I like the
wow,
the ferocity of it, and especially when you do it. Do you do like these rap battles, Chad? Do you do rap battling?
That'll be the next one Murray and I do. That'll be the 2018.
Because you're kind of using both the judges and the other players' momentum against them. So it's very nice. On the functional side, you want to go first, Tommy?
Yeah. So I really like that mobile app tip because it is actually hidden a bit away. Because if you almost any other navigation you do in AX7, you use the search up top there, but you can't find the mobile apps. As far as I know, you can't find the mobile apps from using the search. But clicking that cogwheel and getting those mobile apps out is that's a good. I'm gonna give Fife a point for that one.
Yeah.
Love you, Tommy.
And yeah, so this is a story back when, because I talked to the guys at Microsoft. I was early on. I've written a semi-finished article on the mobile app and how it was going to be used, and then just Murray sprung it before we could talk about it, since we are under NDA. But yeah, so I was like preparing everything, and then Murray like broke the news, and I was like, ah. But it is a good tip, and I'm gonna give Fife one for that. Jason? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I give this one to Murray as well. You know, it's really the ideal kind of tip, something that's a little hard to find but super useful when you do find it. And I don't know, but I would guess not enough customers are looking at this. Yep.
So functional point for Fife. On delivery, I'll go first. I really like Chad's point here. As I said earlier, it was that using both Jason's and Murray's momentum into it, even though it made him go a bit over. So I'll give Chad one. Tommy?
I'm giving Murray my delivery point.
I'm also giving Murray my delivery point. I like Chad's intensity. I think just a little too much to consume in that one short tip.
All right, so
I've never been accused of too little, so that's good. That's good.
There you go.
Very good. We're back. It's anyone's game again as we go into the next round. This is round number. We're on 5 right now, so let's go. And it is first up. It's you, Chad. So let's go.
All right, we're going to talk about just something else random here. This is something that I use to solve a lot of problems, a lot of issues. Okay, that is the most overlooked field on the chart of accounts. But you're going to see how this plays in. Okay, so basically what I went here and I did is I went to the main accounts, okay? And there is in a field called account category. A lot of people want to change the way they view things, okay? And I'm going to show how through data management, okay, and the data import export framework, how I can change this account category. So if you remember, you vendors have posted a lot of stuff to travel, okay? So I'm going to change this from travel to, we're going to change it to something else. We're going to call it expense for the blind squirrels, okay? That's the category that we're going to throw on every one of these travel and expense categories. Okay, so I went over to data management. I'm going to export this, okay? And I'm going to create an export group for this, and I'm going to bring that data entity in. Now, what I want to point out here is that I would have downloaded this to Excel, but I've only got 3 minutes. So what I did was I changed it in what we call the staging tables here. Okay, I would normally generated a data package, but basically I also use this framework to move setup. A lot of times I set up fixed assets in one company and then I can move it to the other 6 very easily. Okay. So I went ahead and exported. Let me go back a little bit. I'm going to get killed on time here. I'm going to go back and I hit the export button. Okay. It created this transaction here. And now I can see the data that got pulled out. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into that data and I'm going to change it. Now, normally I would have probably taken it down to Excel if I had to do a mass change. For just 8 or 9 of these, I might have just changed it on the actual setup because functional guys, we don't need technical tools. But basically what I'm doing here is just to illustrate the change here and do it under 3 minutes is I'm just going to change it here. And then what I'm going to do is re-import that back in. Okay. But this is the thing. I want you to see how this impacts what we've done in Power BI Desktop, the silver bullet. Okay. Why this is even important. Okay. But as I change these, we're going to publish them back up. And here, and I'm going to select just the ones I want to publish, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and validate, and we're going to push these up, okay? And if I speed up here, okay? All right, okay? I come back here, and if I copy the data to target, these main account categories have now been changed, okay? You will see the impact of this change in the next tip, okay? But this allows you to group transactions differently. And if say you set up your dimensions the wrong way, or you add a new division, or you add an entity, this gives you the ability to see things differently without a lot of invasive changes. It's a really cool tip or trick to it's what I call a $5 answer to a $500 problem.
And time.
Oh, was that perfect? That was perfect. I mean, I don't even have a clock going right now. Just boom, right in there.
It's getting part of your biorhythm, and so this is a cliffhanger. Well, Murray.
Well, I was going to show something different, but since Chad went this way, then
I feel like whoever goes second has a huge advantage. Sorry, Tommy, add 3 seconds to his time. I apologize.
So Chad went through a convoluted way of updating the accounts, although he did go to Power BI, which I love Power BI. But if you're inside of the main accounts like he was, then you don't need to go to data management, although I'll show you in a second how you can use data management to do something pretty cool. All you do is say, I want to open this up in Excel. And this is the Excel integration with Dynamics 365 is miles better than it is with 2012. Partly because you don't have to install a connector; the connector automatically gets installed. And also, then we can go out and, as Chad was saying when he was going out and sort of modifying the staging data, then we could go out and change the main account category for any of these items that we have. So, say for example, if I did want to change these, I don't really care about my GL as much as most people, but I could just go and change that and publish it back. And for mass updates, even when you're updating like 3 or 4 different account categories, then going out and using Excel and using the productivity around Excel is really important because it's so easy to do. Then other things that you can do is if you have this information here, then don't forget that you can always go in to the designer. And if there's fields that are here in the form or in the table that aren't actually brought out here into the Office template, then you can go out and add them and have them within the system. And this sort of rolls back to my first tip, which I was talking about Office templates. I did it inside. I created an Office template in Word, but you can create the same Office templates in Excel and use those as standard update functions as well. So for small updates like this, and I use this all the time, then Excel is like your best friend for doing making updates within the system. So I'm going to stop and probably stop early, I think.
Yeah, you do. Wow.
Wow. Oh yes. So I'll go first on this one. I'm going to give my functional point to Fife, as he kind of really used Chad's long convoluted way of doing a thing that actually is quite simple. Had he done something more impressive than updating those categories, maybe you'd won it. But I'm going to go with Murray on that one.
Tough crowd.
Jason?
I'm also going to go with Murray on this one for the this is for the functional.
Yep.
Just using this one to set up the next one, fellas. You can just keep throwing them that way.
Tommy?
Yeah. Using Excel, that is probably the thing that you immediately think of. But that was a kind of interesting tip that Chad did there when he was. I'm going to give Chad my point for this. I see what he did, and probably a lot of people would do what Murray did instead. But I'm going to give Chad my point there.
Okay, so it's 2 against 1. Either way, Murray wins the functional on delivery. I'll go first.
Sorry. But real quick, just to clarify, guys, just for anybody watching that cares, like I like to use the data management when I have dependencies. So that's the other good reason to use it is like I can say, hey, like I can say that this is dependent before the next thing. So Excel does work, but a lot of times if I use data management, it's because I have a bunch of things I'm updating, and like I might want fixed assets, main accounts, or fixed asset groups, all of those things to go over. Just so if anybody's trying to wonder which one you use, like use data management for when I have. I've got to do this table first and then this table. That's just my disclaimer. Sorry.
Yes, and would you have done that, Chad? You probably won this point, but that's it.
But unfortunately.
So on the delivery, I'm gonna go with Murray on it. He was early on this one, and Chad kind of drew. He's prepared, but he had to fast forward, and I missed a lot of things happening there. So
yeah. No love for the guy going first. That's okay.
I'll agree with you, Fredrik.
And Tommy.
Point to Murray.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Chad. You rushed it, but I guess that's just the pain of it. There's so much content.
And it's all building.
You might win the next one. So yeah.
Oh yes, yes. We had a cliffhanger.
Going into this, I fully expected to lose that round, so no worries.
All right, so we're going to the next round, and
okay,
Murray,
that's me. Okay, so since Chad did bring up the data management, then this is a good segue into one of the items I did have planned to talk about, because data management is the data management tools are really important. They save you so much time, and they're so usable, and you could try sort of importing in small fields, but it's the larger structures that are harder that you don't want to type in by hand that really come into play when you talk about data management, because what you can do is you can, I'll give a shout out to Chad, as Chad said, you can pull in different tables at different times. So one example that I've got here is I've got the way that the data management works is, or one of the ways, is that you can create these packages. And if I'm creating a new product and trying to create a bill of material for it, then I've got a lot of things I need to do. For this item here, I've got 150 something products that I need to set up, or 170 different products. And then also, I've got a bill of material that I need to set up that has all of these lines associated with it, with again 169 line items that roll up to the parent. Now, how this really sort of becomes useful is you can create a package in a standard template that has all the tables that you need with all of the source data, and then have it as a zip file. Then all you do once you've got that is you say, I'm going to import in this file, and this is going to be, I'm going to call this Lego, I think it's 101742, and then this is going to be a package. And then all I need to do is say that I want to find this one file that I've got, and I'll find my demo data that I've got here, find that package that I had, which is this product bill of material, and it's going to take that file, it's going to understand all the different dependencies, so it's going to start off with the release products, then the bill of material header, then the bill of material lines. And to import this in, all I do is just say import. So this in itself is going to take longer than we've got to run, because it's trying to create 171 new products in the system itself. But as we run this, and we can see all of the progress along the way. So the really key thing around this is that you can go out and just pre-package up data and then use the data management to import it in. Was that time, Tommy?
Yep. Thank you very much.
Yep. So data management rocks.
Tough to do it in 3 minutes, isn't it?
At least I'm doing it live.
Ooh. Well, ouch. I was going to say something about preparation, but he did ask us like a few seconds before, are we doing 5 or 8? How many are we doing? So now, yeah, that's when I started sweating through my headband right there.
Good.
Chad, you are up.
All right. And I'm just kidding. And go. All right. So back to the silver bullet. Okay. I'm going to go back to my Power BI desktop. I'm going to hit refresh. Okay. But look what we got now, right? Look what we got over here in account categories. We got a few blind squirrel expenses. All right. We've got the 3 judges who are spending way too much on travel. Okay. But we now know, we now see what they're spending here. Okay. Again, it's still the voucher transactions. Okay. You see here how my voucher number starts with APIN. Okay. Hey, I know that's a AP invoice, all right, because of the voucher sequence, all right? But again, it goes back to I know where this data is coming from. I understand it. Also down here, you can see I brought in the vendor master information. So I brought in all 3 of you guys. There's 1, 2, 3, okay? Jason, you're just number 1 on the list, okay? I don't want Tommy or Fredrik to feel bad that I put you in first. But again, I've got the links to all of your guys' websites and blogs, which are very important. And basically, I've got all this now in Power BI, okay? And I brought that in from the vendor master, right? I'm going to publish this up to #FreeTheSquirrels workspace. Anya, I really appreciated your chat box there where you threw the #FreeTheSquirrels out. Please spread the word. And as I go out now, I'm going to go out into my portal in Office 365. I'm going to go to my workspaces, #FreeTheSquirrels. And now what you will see is I've got that same report that I just had. Now I've got it and I can distribute it to the world, okay? Silver bullet, but it means nothing if I don't do all the small things, if my number sequences are right, if I don't understand where the vouchers are coming from, I don't understand how the functional data works, okay? Now what I'm going to go ahead and do here is I'm going to share this with, I'm going to pin this to a dashboard. So I'm going to create a dashboard called Free the Squirrels, and we are going to pin this to that dashboard, okay? I got it on a dashboard, all right? And guess what? I am now going to share that with, I've got the best team in the business. I'm going to share it with one of my team members here. I appreciate all you guys who I've forced to watch this. They're probably the 3 people that are watching me. Is the people I made watch me. But I love all these guys and they love me. And I'm going to send this over to my main guy, Mohammed here. Mohammed, and we're going to just tell him to, #free the squirrels. Okay. But again, the key thing I like about this is these checkboxes right here. I love how I can say allow recipient to share. Okay, this gives people the ability to just kind of view versus, hey, be able to afford it. Super, super important. And I'm going to go ahead and share that with him. Again, it's all started with a number sequence, though. It started with a voucher. It started with a tile. It started with a workspace. Okay, you can't go here until you go there. Okay, you can't be two worlds anymore. I can't have a Power BI guy and a 365 guy. I'm just going to rant now until Tommy tells me to stop. Okay, but again, the silver bullet. All right, the silver bullet. Okay, we're all BI people now.
And you done?
Done.
Okay, wow.
We were-
Before time. Wow, that
Very
happened.
well.
Okay.
And the follow up on Mr. Fife.
Didn't he?
All right.
Yeah, I've
So-
already done. It's judging
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Changing time. Yeah, that's how important your tip was, Murray. Very nice.
Like
I was
like
I was lost in it. No,
Sir Fife, it was so bad they thought you had to go. Like they
go again.
yeah.
Go again, Murray. No, sorry. I was getting out of count here. Sorry. Okay, so Tommy, you want to go first?
That's a big sigh.
He did data management.
The weight
Oh,
of
this
the
is. I mean,
responsibilities.
okay. It feels like so. What I see some of these shows on TV when the judges are gonna judge musicians and singers, and you get like just a few of them left, and the judges said, "Oh, this is so hard." And right now I'm feeling the same. This is kind of hard because those were very good sessions, both of them. But I'm going to give Chad a point on this one because it was a really good one, and in fact that he made it under time, and that was kind of cool. So yeah, my point goes to Chad for this one.
Jason?
Oh boy, I'm really struggling too to try to find a reason. I'm gonna have to go with Chad as well. I think the demo, it did make me number one after all, so I don't think Murray's made me number one.
I also in the last break, Jason, I did change shirts. I've got my Dynamics World shirt on, so I
Thank you.
I just want to know your representation.
It doesn't influence me, but Chad won.
I told you after you gave me my point.
Journalistic integrity.
Where's Chad getting all these shirts from?
My mom made them.
Perhaps a new line of business for Blind Squirrel Productions.
I got to go with Murray on this, simply because that exact thing, we have to talk about that afterwards, because I kind of need that. I'm doing an item import tomorrow, so I really need that. So I'm gonna do it, Murray, on that one. But
your point's contingent upon him helping you though tomorrow, right?
yes.
Okay. All right.
But
Template's on its way.
But you still got that one, Chad. So on delivery, I can go first. I'm gonna go with Murray. Very nice demo. Exactly what I was thinking. Good delivery on the effectiveness, and you really had a large library of demo things, and I'm really impressed that you found all your file stuff quickly. Tommy.
That is true. Murray is doing a lot of demos, so his file system is showing that off. But again, Chad did a good demo, delivered under time. So I'm sorry, Murray. I'm giving Chad a point for delivery this time around.
So I have a soft spot in my heart for bills of material. So I think it was a nice sort of well-structured tip. So I'm going to give it to Murray.
Oh yeah.
Jason. Yeah. Hey Murray, are you writing down? Jason has soft spot for bill of material.
Everyone loves a good bill of material.
Oh
Yeah.
yes. So what round are we in? Are we in round 6 now?
Yeah, round 6.
What round are we in?
Are we in a round? Oh, we missed the judge.
This could be 7.
This is 7. Yeah, I was like 6.
Okay, ready for round number 7. And you are up, Chad.
Oh, great. Awesome. Hey, guess where we're going back? We're going back to the silver bullet. Okay. This, I want to prove out that Dynamics, like in the old days, I always thought of AX 2012 as a separate thing. It's not its separate thing anymore. We are one universe, people. All right. And this shows you why. Okay. What I'm going to do here now is I'm going to come here to the Dynamics podcast channel, episode 14, which is a great episode, one of my favorite. And I'm going to grab the one about Power BI, which, as you can tell, I'm totally jaded. I mean, I'm totally sold. Okay. What I did here is I added a tile to this. Okay. And I'm going to put the video in here. This is the coolest thing ever. I had one client I have, we add instructions on how to get data and how to do things. I mean, I can put videos next to Dynamics 365 data. I mean, I can bring in production data from maybe a separate system that's recording scrap. I mean, just think about the possibilities of what I can do now here and what I can put. I mean, if I'm lost in Power BI now, I can look at your guys' video and figure out what I need to figure out there. Okay. And I click the link there. Okay. But if I'm going to go back now to the link here. Okay. Or sorry, I'm going to go down to the file and I'm going to go and publish to the web. All right. This is a cool thing too. I put this in my website. So if you go to my website, dynamicschatter.com, you will see that I embedded this. Now, one cool thing, and this is a challenge to everybody out there, because I can't think of a practical use for this, but I just think it's cool. All right. And really, it's kind of like when Fredrik put his Excel file out there. At the time, he didn't have a practical use for it, but then Chad found a practical use. I'm really hoping somebody sees this and they're like, hey, here's a practical use for this. I can put it into OneNote, which I think it's awesome. Okay. Maybe I distribute out. I mean, I haven't quite figured out the practicality of it, but I just think it's cool that I can take that same piece here and put it in OneNote. I'm a huge OneNote fan. If I ever lost my OneNote, I'd be in big trouble. If you're not using OneNote, you should. But now I can embed it in there. Okay. The other thing that's cool is my links still work here. So let's look at the link here for Tommy, and we'll there's his blog. Oh, see, you can get to his blog from the link in the Power BI tab from the 365 in OneNote, which all came from the vendor master in Dynamics 365 for operations.
Boom. Murray?
Are we going down to two-minute tip now, Chad? What's going on here?
Yeah. I mean, I can keep going. I can keep going if you'd like.
Well, you have another minute. If you have something else to share, you can use your own minute.
No, I stopped the clock and reset it now. So it's done.
We can't restart the clock once we stop it. So.
Okay, so I'm going to make this easy for the judges, because I had something else I was going to show, but I'm going to pivot because I want you want to judge sort of things that are similar, and so I'll show you something around Power BI, and I'll show a couple of things. So all the information's coming in here into Power BI. And I sort of showed this before, but we have all of these standard dashboards that are available to us, and I can go into any of these reports that we've got and see the metrics that we have here. But something that we can also do is we can have the system sort of help us along the way and sort of notify us about things. And one thing that you can do is you can go out and if you have these KPIs, then I can go out and I can say, I want to manage and I want to create an alert. And I want to say that when the total quantity is above 50 or something like that. And this is going to run, this is running once a day, but I could run it once an hour as well. So this is going to go out and tell me when these changes are made. But there's more. So as we sort of move outside of this, so all of this is being sort of recalculated and then redistributed back to the dashboards. But say I want to notify someone about that. Then I can go out and use one of my most favorite tools, which is Power BI. And I can tell the system that I want to go out and create an alert. And I'm going to go out and say that I want to look for Power BI. And there's a trigger here within Flow for these notifications that says when an alert is triggered. And I can go out and it's going to find the alerts that I created inside of Power BI. The alert has been created, and then I could go out and create a new step here. And I can send emails if I want to. So I could just send out an email to someone and then specify the address. and it's going to find me. Orders 50. And then also I can go out and add in information here for the alert title if I want to, and also the value of that, and just create this flow. So now what I've got is I've got these reports that are running in the background, and I can, rather than have to go out and query the information each time, I can have the information get delivered to me through Flow and through email or any other format that I want. So again, Power BI, best thing ever.
Oh yeah, it is.
Oh wow.
Who wants to go first on this one? Deliberation.
Since you guys were personally involved, I think you two should weigh in first.
Tommy, you can go with your tip first. Remember, there's one for functionality, and then you have one for delivery. So.
Okay. You want me to score both of them right now?
No, I want you to score functionality first.
Functionality, yeah. Wow, that was I didn't know you could do that in Power BI, so that was kind of interesting. And connecting that with, even though Chad's tip was very good, I quite didn't catch where I would want to use that. But like you said, but there could be someone who actually would do that, put a YouTube video in a Power BI report dashboard. But the thing that Murray showed, well, that was a really good one. So Murray, you got this one.
Yeah. Jason, anything you want to add? He could have put video.
I like this. I like the back and forth that we're having, where we're alternating who goes first, because it's really interesting to see how each person is adjusting their second their position when they're going second to try to match the other person. I think Murray did a really good job this time, sort of countering Chad. I like Chad's. I like that he showed off some things I didn't know, but I thought Murray's took it, both in terms of functional and technical.
Yeah, I'm gonna join on that. And Tommy, did you miss that? I actually talked about this when we had on a couple of weeks ago. We talked to a guy about Power BI. Help me with the name.
Joel?
Joel. Yeah, Joel
yeah.
Lichty. And we talked about this. I said there's a trigger for that. So awesome to use this. It's a super tip. So I'm going to go with Murray as well. And delivery, Tommy?
Yeah. Thing is that, and this is a weak argument, but Chad ended with my blog and a picture of me with the city I live in behind me.
City.
So yeah, it's a cheap one, but I'm going to give Chad a point for that one.
Hey, look at the scoreboard. I need all the ones I can get at this point. So.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Murray for the pivot. It was a great comeback using the same platform and just upping the tip.
I'll give this one to Murray for pretty much the same reason as Fredrik.
And Murray is pulling away. Chad, you got to pull your A game now.
All right, that's right. Got 2 rounds left.
2 rounds left. You got to pull them all.
And I got a big finish for you. So I'm excited.
All right. So up next it is Murray.
Okay. So this tip is, some of it you may already know about, but I'm gonna try to end on a different point. But a lot of people know that, or task recordings and the task recorder has been a cool thing within, even 2012 is a great thing. But going out and creating your own task recordings is really easy. So say, for example, if I want to create a new sales order, oops, spell that right, then I'll just start this. And now it's going to do the recording. And I won't go through all of this, but I can go down here to, the sales and marketing. Oops. And then say I want to go to all sales orders. And you'll notice that if anyone hasn't seen this, because it gets shown a lot, then just by itself, it's pretty cool, because we can go out and just choose our customers. and then go OK, and it's going to step us through and create the recording. Now, I'm going to stop this because we could keep on going and have it create the lines as well. But I can now, I'm going to save this away, and I could save this to Lifecycle Services, and if I wanted to, but I'm just going to save it down here to my desktop. And now I've got the recording. Now once we've got the recording, then what most people do is they put it up into Lifecycle Services, and then it becomes part of help. But there's a feature here that's called playback. And so I could play it as a guide. And what that's going to do is it's going to show me all of the steps, and I can just go and open this up. I'll find my desktop again. And I can open up the task guide. So this just shows me the steps. But what I can do is I can play back a recording. And what this does is rather than giving you a step-by-step sort of instructions asking you to do it, it goes out and runs each of the steps for you. So it works like a macro. So this by itself is pretty neat, because if you have a task that you run over and over again, then what you can do is you can create a task recording with all of those steps built into it, and then just get it to run the entire thing for you. And I went through this step by step, but if you click on this play all pending steps, it will just work through all of the steps until it gets to the end and then finish. So task recordings aren't just for help. For lazy people, you can automate a lot of tasks with it. So that's oh, bang on.
Okay, well, yeah. Well, before you start my time, Tommy, I love that piece of functionality, Mr. Fife. And if you're doing it out there, periodic journals, go post them using that, because we wanted that for years, being able to automate the journal process. Sorry, had to digress. But
so does that count as a vote for me? So.
Yeah, I'll give you 1 point. I mean, I'll give you a point there. But my points don't matter. So, but Murray Fife talked about lazy people. All right, yeah, at the end there, and I'm one of those people, and I wanted to talk to you guys about something that's near and dear to my heart, which is locking down transactions, locking down people from doing stupid things. Okay, and then I talked to somebody, and they said, "Look, you're already doing one on number sequences. They're gonna be asleep by the time you talk to them about locking down transactions." I said, okay, well, this is what we'll do. I'll do it from my phone. Okay, since I'm a lazy person, I'm on my phone here, as you can see from the screen. All right, I'm going to my Fresh Desk Ticket Help, which here at EmpowerAX, this is how we communicate with all our customers. You send us a case, we open it up. Somebody sent me the following case. They said, hey, my R&I account looks off this month. Can you help me out? Okay, all right. Well, I'm on my phone. I'm gonna go over to the dashboards I just created in the previous step. Okay. And what do you know? If I go back here, I've got the blind squirrel. Okay, I've got the blind squirrel dashboards out here. All right. So now I'm going to go to the report I just created on my phone. I might add you. Okay. And you know what? I'm going to look at my R&I accounts. And oh, guess what? That's a main account category that I set up. So hey, I'm going to filter that down. Okay. And now I can take a look at, hey, what's set up here? Hey, you got $127.87 transaction there. Okay. Oh, look, it's on a GENJ journal. That's a general journal. Oh, because I set up the voucher sequences correctly, I now know that, hey, I shouldn't have that post. Like, nobody should be able to manually post to any subledger account, which leads me to the question of how the heck did this happen and who am I going to kill? All right. So, but again, I'm now going to annotate this. Okay. So I click annotate. I'm going to circle this and I'm going to highlight the amount and the text that said, hey, why is somebody posting marketing expense to R&I manually? Okay, I'm going to put a sad face on it here, and I'm going to go ahead and send it back, all on my phone. Haven't even gotten it out of my phone yet, all right? And I'm going to tell them, hey, this is bad. We shouldn't be doing this, okay? So I'm going to copy that link. We're going to go back over, and I'm going to respond to the help desk question, all right? But let's talk about the source, okay? Why did that happen? Because going back to Jason's point, it's not real if we don't go back into 365, right? Okay. So I'm going to fast forward here a little bit. I updated my case, but now we're going to go over to the main accounts. Okay. Take a look here at that account that we just looked at in Power BI, and let's get an idea as to why this happened. Oh, my favorite box, the do not allow manual entry. Okay. That should be checked for everything that comes through in a subledger that has vendors, inventory, R&I, Banks, they should all be locked down. Okay, that's the number one thing I probably clean up on probably half my clients is this getting out of whack. But again, did it from my phone. And to meet Jason's need, there was no BOM. I'm sorry, there's no BOM there. There's no bill of material, but I did go back into the application.
And time.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, this is why we need them to present things that are easier to compare, because this one's very hard.
Yes. So you can go first, Jason.
I'm gonna give that I think on both accounts to Chad. I love Task Recorder and I love all the different elements of it. But I also really appreciate a tip focused on segregation of duties or security. So just for that reason, it sort of brought something else to the event today. So, Chad.
Tommy.
I haven't thought about the macro thing, but I see it now, and I probably already knew about it. That's a strong tip, but Chad's tip that was very elaborate and had all the flavors of using the fact that this is cloud and it's so available. He was mixing and mashing up with Power BI, using his mobile phone, and then looking at the page and sending the email. And then he threw in an additional strong functional tip on configuration. So Chad wins both my points.
Yeah, it's me as well. Chad, both your points. Okay. Yeah. Well, you, of course, the position that you had on using this, you can just do like 10 minutes work and bill an hour. And of course, you said, Chad, that your opinion didn't matter, but it does. So I did give Murray the point that you gave him, because your opinion doesn't matter.
I was wondering where that point came from.
Oh no, that came from you. But don't underestimate yourself. You
it's one of my favorite pieces of functionality, man. I love that, Murray.
Yeah. Okay. So delivery. Did we do that? Delivery. You want to do that? Go first, Tommy.
Yeah, delivery. Goes to Chad.
Okay.
That was very elaborate with using his mobile phone and everything. So
yep, me as well. That was really interesting. Jason.
I would agree. Getting the different views in there. Wanted for Chad.
Good save, Chad. Getting back into it.
Okay. Just got to keep it close. Just got to figure out a way to get there. but the problem is he's going second next round. So that's always those are the rounds I seem to get killed. So because that's why he's the champ.
Okay, ready for next round.
This isn't the last tip though, is it?
Second to last. Nope.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
We got 9 and then we got 10.
The bell has rung.
All right, we good?
You good?
Yeah, we're starting.
All right, hey, and for any of those that saw the LinkedIn, this was my promo video here. All right, basically, I was bouncing the ball in the club here. All right, and because I'm lazy and I don't actually get to play any golf because I get to pick which 16 hours of the day I work. What I do now is I can see here that I'm opened up my Apple Watch. Now, if you guys remember, early on, I went to the voucher inquiries. I went to Open Vendor Invoices. Okay, I had also gone to Power BI. What I wanted to do here is I wanted to add something to the vendor master to break out line of business. Okay, I wanted to group my vendors differently. All right. Now what I can see here is I can see how much you guys spent. Okay, I can also see your open invoices, which I now have 4 of them. Okay, on my Apple Watch, people. Okay, all right. But how did I get there? All right, let's talk about it. All right, I'm going to fast forward up here. Okay, and I'm going to go to all vendors because somebody accused me of not using the right functionality earlier. Okay, I'm going to come here and I'm going to use the Excel template to update the line of business. Okay, but I'm doing it for a different purpose. Okay, I'm doing it to basically push this back out to my Power BI file, to what I've now shown as my desktop, my Office 365 portal, my watch. Oh, and guess what? I've got some random LinkedIn report there that nobody gave me any credit for earlier. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add in that line of business field. Okay, and basically, when I refresh this here, okay, you will see that the three of you gentlemen all are set up as 1,000. Okay, I went into 365. I created a new line of business that just happened to be called I don't know, Chad wins. Like that was what I named it. And basically, I'm going to now publish this back in, sort of close to what Mr. Fife did. He didn't use the filter. He didn't push it back into the vendor. He may or not have showed you, like I did here, where in the app you can see here that Tommy is now set up with Chad wins. Okay, but to take it a step further, and we will go a step further. Let's go out to Power BI now, and you can see that I now have the line of business here. All right, and I can publish back up. Okay. I also created these tiles. These are the key things. I created these tiles, and I published this all back up. I filtered those tiles down to just the line of business Chad wins. Okay, and you can see that, hey, I have I got 4 transactions that hit this month, and I've got $98,000 of postings. Okay, you can see I put them in the report. You can see that I put them into Mr. Fife's favorite workspace, favorite dashboard, free the squirrels. But hey, that's how it showed up on my workspace. But again, it wouldn't be possible unless we did the little things. The little things of making sure the vendor master's right. The little things of making sure the number sequences are correct. The little things of understanding where the data is coming from and how it gets to Power BI. You have to protect the one version of truth at all costs, because it won't matter what's on your phone if the data is wrong.
Nice.
Very nice. And rebuttal?
Okay. So this, for this one, I'm going to show a different way that we can go out and publish information out. And this is probably the most technical tip that I'm going to show. But it all starts from here with the OData feed, and Chad showed this before. And the good thing about this is that you can go out and query information, and the OData feed, it's secure. It's not a backdoor into the system. You still have to authenticate in order to move through and to grab all this information. But also what you can do is you can filter this information out. You can pick and choose the fields that you want. But why this is important is because we can use this for other things. And I dusted off my coding skills. I can code a little bit. I don't do it often, or I don't tell people a lot that I do it. And within Visual Studio, I can go out and create a structure and also go and query the information. And so what I'm doing is now I've got all of this information that's available to me within Visual Studio that I can code. But this example sort of takes it to the next level, because I'm embarrassed that Chad was showing an iWatch, an Apple Watch, when we're talking about all of this. But I would go out. And,
I was too as well. Yeah, it pained me.
And what this does is this creates this is a bot that's running. And what I can do here is this is sort of like the emulator mode, where I could go out and I could look up a customer, and it's saying, what customer do you want to look up? And I'll go US001. And it's going to go and find that, and it shows me Contosa Retail. So this is an idea where if we're mobile, then we could go out and get this information fed back to us. And also bots are hot right now because they allow us to streamline some of the functions. But this in itself isn't very useful because it's all in development. But what you do is you take it over, and the bot framework, all this code that's going back to Dynamics and grabbing the information, can be deployed out into Facebook. It can be deployed out to Skype, Teams, to Cortana Intelligence, to a web interface as well. And now within these the Office tools, I can go out and say, I want to look up a customer. And I could go out and do a search. And in this case, I'll look up for Joanne Fabrics. And maybe I'm a salesperson that just needs to see what their credit status is. This is going back through OData, doing a query, grabbing the credit rate and grabbing the country and the zip code
Time.
and all the other information about the customer, and then displaying it here through this chat interface. And I think this is pretty darn cool. So,
Well, looks pretty cool. What do you think, Tommy?
Yeah, he's right. Bots are hot. Again, comparing apple with oranges. That was a neat trick using the phone and the Apple Watch. Could be basically any watch. Yeah. On the functional side, I'm gonna give this point to Murray, even though Chad needs it desperately.
Jason? Oh, you're muted.
Oh, he's
All right.
muted.
All right. I'm back. So I'm splitting my votes up on this one. I agree. Phone demos, if you want my most jaded view of things, but watch demos are very 2016. But it was very cool though. And bots are newer, so I'll give the I'll give the technical based on the use of bots to Murray. For functional, I do like how Chad is sort of building up a story, and this is the next is strengthening that story further. So on the functional, I'll give it to Chad.
Tommy, and I'm gonna go with Murray on the technical side of it, on the feature of that, because I love bots and I don't like Apple, so it kind of hurts. And also, I'm gonna go with Murray on presentation as well, pulling that out of a hat live, just showing code and getting into it.
That's true. It is neat doing that live. I did like Chad's golfing trick, though. Am I allowed to give him another point?
Yes, you're allowed, and you're delivering the
delivery.
On delivery. Yeah. So
Yeah.
okay, yeah, you can give him a point. So you're still in the running, Chad. It's going to be down to the final tip, which is round number 10, and since you started, Chad, it's going to be Murray who is up for the starts. Go ahead.
okay. So, well, for this last tip, I'm going to show something that I think Fredrik, you did you make a post on this about the copying of the legal entities?
Yes.
Yeah. And so I saw that post, and I'm not pandering to you blatantly, but this is like the coolest thing ever, and it just came out in the last release of Dynamics 365, and this is huge because what it allows us to do is move data from one legal entity to another, and this is something that came up probably a year ago. Someone was trying to create multiple training environments with multiple companies, and there was no easy way with Dynamics 365 to go out and sort of replicate information over and over. So what we can do is cancel that. Is we can create a new copy and then also tell it where I want to take the data from, and then also what company do I want to put this into. So I've got down here, I've got my New Zealand. I should have my New Zealand company now, and I can add this to the end source location. So if I created like 5 or 10 companies, then I could copy in bulk all of the setup information and all the core information from the sort of vanilla system over to any of the other companies. Also, I can copy number sequences, or you could create those by hand. It depends on what you want to do. Now, Then what you do is you say, what entities do I want to add? And you can go and pick and choose each one of these entities. But something that I found that's really useful is that there are standard templates now within Dynamics that have all of the fields and all of the entities that you need to set up the system. So, for example, if I wanted to pull over all the accounts payable items, then it will go out and find all of those entities and then add them here into this view. So it's going to add all of the, in this case for payables, all the buyer groups, all the vendors, all the other sort of codes and controls, the shipping terms and so forth, directly from that template. And I don't have to go and pick and choose which ones I want to go and grab. And then once we've got this, so once we've said, this is the data that I want to pull over, so you could pull over all of the core fields, then all you do is just click this copy legal entity, and it will move all of the information over within the system. So data setup is really simple, especially when you are doing cookie cutter new entities within the system. So was that my time up, Tommy?
Oh,
Yep.
yes.
Yep.
Yeah, so this copy function is huge.
Oh, yeah. And the response?
All right. Well, Jason hit me with 2016, and I've been punished today for being prepared and ready to go. So as they would say, let's do it live, people. Let's do it live this time on my last tip or trick. Jason said something about watches were very 2016. Well, let me show you 2018. Okay, I got an assist here from MVP Lance Wenka. I think he might be the only two-time guest on the Dynamics podcast channel. Basically, going back to my video here that we're going to do live, because people seem to going back to what I ended with last time was this do not allow manual entry button. Okay. What Lane has done and what I now use, and I'm beta testing for him, is we are going out to the Azure portal. Okay. This is so cool. This is very not 2016. So I'm going to go out to my Azure portal here, and Lane actually has a blog where he shows exactly how to do this. Oh, something's on my mouse. This is why Fife is the best. Go up to the top here. Okay. And basically I'm in my Azure portal. All right. And I am going to go to, I'm going to go back out here, and I've got this thing called EmpowerAX telemetry. Everything that Lane does, I wrote 10 lines of code. Okay. What he did was he surfaced its telemetry data through a couple of classes, which you can get from him. He freely gives it out to the world, and I'll show you, the link will be in the folder. Okay. But what it does is it takes different information out. Okay. And it takes, and I can see, and basically you go in here, you click application insights, and I brought in the data that I had here. Okay. So in my favorites here, all right, what I have here is Lane and I've always had this vision about being proactive instead of reactive. Okay. What I can see here now is I can see exactly how many page views I've had. So I can go figure out who did exactly what I didn't want them to do, which is go change the main account details. Okay. You can do some of this in lifecycle services. It's just really difficult. Okay. But what's nice about this is I added this. I can add these tiles. It's very user friendly. I mean, I've only had this for 3 days, full disclosure. And basically I can come in here and I can say, hey, but it all goes back to the first point I made from the very beginning. Okay. 2.5 years ago, I took an Excel sheet that had a link in it from Fredrik. And now I'm using the same link. I mean, it's the same form name, right? Main account details. And I can now see who went into that form. Okay. It feels a little Big Brother-ish. Okay. I'll admit it. But I can see the user, me, who went in there. Okay. But think about what's possible. Okay. Think about getting error messages and notification. You can actually set up notifications, and you can get information when you hit an error. Okay. If there's a hard stop, we get an error. Just think about what's possible and how we could get in front of a lot of issues. I think the next big wave is being predictive and being proactive instead of reactive. That's my big finish. And I did it live. Boom. We did it live.
I'm so proud of you, Chad.
Thank you.
So we're at the finals. We have Fife at 10 and Carnes. The final tips are in. I'm gonna start with you, Tommy. You'll start this off. So first, purely functional. What do you like best?
Right. When he started off with talking about the copy company, I almost forgot to pay attention to the time, because that was I've read about it, but I haven't actually seen a demo of it. So that was very interesting.
Should read my blog.
Yeah, I should read your blog more often. That's right.
Ooh.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
I know that feeling, Fredrik.
Oh shit. It just got awkward between co-hosts here. You know what I mean?
Oh, there's a lot of bromance there anyway. So.
Oh yeah.
But now, so are you saying that Lane is actually going to release this, Chad? That's very interesting.
If you'd read Lane's blog, you might see that it's out there as well. So yep.
I should read more blogs, because I hit blogs through Google search more often than I don't have time to but okay. Regardless, Chad is going to get my point on the functional level, just because it is adding some neat stuff on top of the telemetry. Even though that copy company functionality is huge. It is huge. But yep.
Jason?
So okay, yeah, I was really impressed with. I think I'm kind of going to expose myself as a non sort of ERP user, and I didn't totally appreciate how important Murray's tip was there. I definitely take what Tommy's saying on it, but yeah, I like Chad's more for that reason. On the technical side, I thought it introduced a really cool element that I hadn't seen before.
Yeah, I'll go Ed, because we did lose that functionality in 2012 when they did the global tables, and they removed this copy company button, which we have sorely missed, and it is both exciting to have it back, but it is long overdue, and it's kind of like it has a sour taste to it. It's like, yeah. So we're back to we're back to 2011, right? So I also have to go with Chad. That was an amazing tip, and I just the other day did go around and dig through these telemetry data to try and figure out who did what, and it took me some time, and that would have been a lifesaver at that moment. So point to Chad for the technical and the functional side of it. So delivery, Tommy.
Yeah, I'm going to give delivery to Murray. He is doing a very professional presentation as usual. He is the master of. But only once during all of his tips did he say, "And there is more." I only catch it once.
That's because I've only got 3 minutes. Usually that comes at minute three and a half.
That is his slogan. Even though I'm severely impressed by Chad's presentation skills. So, yeah, a big shout out. But Murray's getting my point for presentation this time around.
Yeah, and so what do you say, Jason? Who gets the final point? Up, you're muted. Muted.
Sorry about that. So I'm really torn on this one. I think, I'll give it to Murray on presentation for this one. Working within the Dynamics 365 interface, I really am torn, because I thought I thought it was fun to look at the Azure portal and that layout too. So I don't want to take anything away from Chad's demo there, but yeah, I think Murray was showing something that I would give the point to.
Yeah, and I'll join in on that as well. It was very well executed, even though you did choose something that did take some time to actually work. So, but we are at the end, and we actually ended up on Fife at 11 points and Chad at 9. You came close, Chad. I'm really impressed. I thought it would be more of a slaughter, but you hold your own.
Moral victories. Yep. Moral victories. You know what I mean? So like when I first talked to you about this, Fredrik, you were like, I was like, do I have a chance? And you're like, no. Like it wasn't even like, hey man, you know, if you do, no, you're just like, no. You're like, it's gonna be fun, but no, no, you don't have a chance. So 11, and I'm not in the negative, which is what I was probably more worried about. So.
Different, anything with judging, it's very difficult to come away with a win or a loss when it's this close.
Yeah.
And by the way, Mr. Fife, thank you so much for doing this. Like you're a great sport about this. It's been a lot of fun. And please send me your address. I want to give you a gift, sir. I got a Yeti mic for you, sir. That I'm gonna mail your way. So please send. Oh. Yeah, because I know how much you like them. So I've got one. I'm gonna send it to you. And yeah, but hey, you can always use another one. Okay. So please send me your address, and I will. That's just my thank you. This has been so much fun. I appreciate it.
I really don't want to do this again because this was too close. My ego can't.
Is it like a boxing champion now that you've got the title?
Like a split decision.
Well, the thing is that Murray is a tip wizard. He has so many tips in his pocket, and I really appreciate the ton of work I can assume that Chad has put into this, preparing for this show. So good job on you, Chad.
Yeah, there were a lot of tips, and
that's how much work you have to do just to compete, just to be on the scoreboard with the champ, all right? Yeah, and I'm really glad it's not. I'm really glad it's not tied because that means we don't have to have a rematch, which is just. I'm really happy about that.
Oh, it was close.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do a rematch, but we'll change the rules up.
Well, let's try one live in front of an audience at some event, and we'll get Heather on board, and we'll do an AXUG big mashup where you guys go on stage and do something amazing like this, right?
That'd be so much fun. So
with even more pressure. So we'll up the ante until next time, and maybe we'll get a third person in because we could do 3 people challenging. I'm not going to compete. I'm not at your level, guys. So it was really fun that you joined us. Well, Jason, you wanna tell us where we can get information from you? Thank you so much for being here. Where's your stuff at?
My stuff is at msdynamicsworld.com. Podcasts, news, webcasts. You can find it all there. If you register, you get access to all of it, and it's free.
Yeah, and Murray, your stuff is always also on MS Dynamics World, but where else?
Among other places.
and you can let me go back there. You can find a lot of my blog posts are on my website, the tinkerersnotebook.com, which is where my Tinkerbell came from, apparently. And then also you can maybe find a couple of my books on Amazon. If you look.
Yeah, and I also have to join in on Chad. I've also been fifed before, and also talked about it on the podcast where
I actually got a lot of emails and people on LinkedIn and stuff hitting me up telling me about their fifed experience. It was actually really kind of funny. Like I got a lot of support from people who have been in that situation.
That's exactly what we should do. We should make a support group. We should make a support group for the fifed ones, and we'll bill Murray for the time we had to. Where can we find
be prolific?
No, it is awesome. Where can you find your stuff, Chad? What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, if we are the Power BI second opinion to the world at EmpowerAX.com. We do support, we do reporting, and then we do reporting to do support. So they play well to each other. And then I'm on this great YouTube channel called Dynamics Podcast, where we are we're the little sister. We're the I think, what did you call it? We're the Supergirl to the Flash. Murray, I think, is probably the best way to describe that. On that channel, but Dynamics Chatter at gmail.com, at dynamicschatter.com.
All right, Tommy, do you want to take us out?
Yeah, sure. I haven't been fived yet, but I've seen that Murray's been playing a lot with Azure Functions and now with bots and a lot of the new stuff in Azure. So I might get fived anytime soon. My stuff is on yet. Yeah.
Go ahead, Tommy.
My stuff is on yet another AX. I still have those 2 letters in my URL. Yetanotherax.com. That's my blog. And this podcast, of course.
Of course, mine as well. You can find mine on axtips.com and dyntips.com. I've removed AX, so it's dyntips.com, and also on DYN podcast, or DIN podcast, where you can find everything on the podcast, and you can go subscribe to all our different places where you can go and add. It's like Podbean and a lot of different podcast aggregators out there who has us, like iTunes. And also shout out to one of our earlier guests who said that we hadn't been added for we don't have enough votes for our podcast yet, so we're still kind of tiny in this space, but we're growing steadily. We're over 550 subscribers on YouTube now, so go subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/DYN podcast, DIN podcast on YouTube. So thank you very much, guys. It's been awesome.
And big thanks to everybody who watched, everybody, all the comments and stuff, and the hashtag Free the Squirrels. I really appreciate all of you guys for coming out.
And on behalf of Chad and I, thanks so much for coordinating this and making it what it is. I think we had a great time doing this.
Yeah. Murray and I, when we got on, we first realized, like, I think I told Murray this, like, I was like, you know, we're doing 10 and tricks, but it looks like they're doing a lot more work. Like he was sweating a lot more than we were, I think. So trying to run the board and everything. So big thanks, guys. Appreciate you facilitating this. It's awesome.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you later.
Okay.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.